Well, if you look at the growth of our telecom sector, mobile telephony has been critical. In fact, it is because of cell phones that we were able to leapfrog a stage of development. And from about 30 million lines, 30 million telephones in 2000, we could reach a figure of 1 billion last year. So this has been a huge leap, and most of it is because of mobile. Going ahead, in the Digital India program, there is a need for high-speed broadband connectivity. And of our broadband users, almost 90% are mobile broadband. So that is the way the growth will take place. Most people will access high-speed broadband, digital services, e-commerce, e-governance applications on their mobile phones, all of which requires mobile communication of a very high order to provide reliable and high-speed connectivity. If you are dependent on the cellular network for your communication needs, obviously you need towers. We have something like 500,000 towers in the country, and because of this, we've got the mobile footprint over 90% of our population, and this has to grow. If you do not have a mobile tower, there is no way you can get connectivity. I mean, to seek 24/7 connectivity, high-speed broadband in every room, in every house, and at the same time to say that there should be no mobile towers in residential colonies, this is not going to happen. It's a contradiction in terms. We are clear in government that mobile broadband will have to be ubiquitous very soon to fulfill the vision of Digital India. And for that, we will need increasingly large number of towers. Towers in government buildings, towers in residential areas, towers all over the place. The mobile towers emit electromagnetic radiation, which is a low electromagnetic field. This has been tested all across the world for tens of years. The mobile as a form of communication has been there in the developed countries for almost 40 plus years, and they have strict health standards as well. And nowhere has there been a need to do away with mobile towers in the interest of protecting the health of citizens. As far as the government of India is concerned, we are absolutely committed to protecting the health of our citizens, and our standards, our electromagnetic radiation limits that we prescribe for emissions from mobile towers are very strict. In fact, they are more than 10 times stricter than the international standards which have been prescribed by the WHO. So we are kind of making it doubly sure that there is no risk to health from electromagnetic radiations coming from mobile towers. The government is also committed to ensure that these limits on radiation are very, very strongly enforced. We have an entire network of term cells which do surprise checks, which do random tests to see whether the radiation levels are within the prescribed limits. And we prescribe very stiff penalties as well. For instance, as part of our Indian Telegraph Act, we prescribe a penalty of as much as 10 lakhs of rupees for each transgression where the radiation limit is more than prescribed. And in the last 6 to 8 years, we've hardly found any mobile tower which is radiating above the norm. We have recently, to improve the problem of coral drops, identified in the Lutyens zone of Delhi 120 sites where we will install new towers to be shared between the various telecom service providers to provide connectivity, both voice and broadband. And of these, 81 towers which are coming up on government buildings, whether it's Udyog Bhavan or Shastri Bhavan, our own office building, Sanchar Bhavan, everywhere there are towers. In fact, I live in New Moti Bagh, which is a residential colony where most secretaries to Government of India live. And we have number of towers right on top of the 10-story building which people live in. And that's why we have good connectivity. I don't have to crib about the quality of phones or broadband in my home. No, I mean, I think all secretaries to Government of India, most government officers, employees, are convinced that there is no adverse effect of radiation from mobile towers on health. And therefore, we don't hear. I mean, in fact, we have a clamor. I get calls from my colleagues asking that towers be installed in Udyog Bhavan, for instance, because they have poor connectivity. No one has ever told me that take this tower off government building because it is a health hazard. Therefore, it's a canard to say that people unnecessarily extrapolate, and they spread canards saying that so and so had cancer, which might have been because of radiation. I mean, it's unfortunate that these days cancer is on the rise, but there has been no connection established between cancer and electromagnetic radiations. We do realize that people need to be told the truth on this very important aspect. And there's a multi-pronged approach that we propose to take in the months to come. One is, of course, we have the locations of each and every mobile tower in the country, along with what is the radiation levels that it is emitting. We intend to come out with a portal wherein a citizen will soon be able to access any tower by its location and find out for himself whether it's radiating, and if it's radiating, what is the radiation level, and whether it is well below the standard that has been set for that tower. The mobile towers have been around in the world for now almost 4-5 decades. Number of studies have been conducted by the World Health Organization, the UN body which looks after health, and they have looked at empirical data from almost 25,000 studies conducted in different countries, and they have not found any correlation between mobile tower radiations and any health issue. Even in India, a number of cases where activists and others have gone to court seeking that mobile towers be shut down on account of the fact, on basis of the allegation that they emit radiations which is harmful for human health. And there are 16 judgments of different high courts in India in the last few years. Each and every one has come to the conclusion that mobile tower radiations do not harm human health, or at least that is the assumption, because they have not asked any towers to be shifted or shut down in these judgments. So, if you look at the evidence from the top international body, whether you look at the rulings of the top courts in our country, the one and only message that is coming out is that if proper standards are set, as we have set in India, if they are enforced, as we are doing it, obviously radiations from mobile towers do not have any potential harmful effects.